Central Library, about to have a look at the Anarchy in the Library exhibition, which is basically celebrating the famous Sex Pistols gig in Manchester on the 4th of June 1976, the first of two gigs they did, which historically changed the music scene in Manchester forever. Because of the impact and the legacy this gig had, it set the Manchester music scene for what it became the 80s, the 90s, and is still reflected in today's music industry. It helped put Manchester, not just on the worldwide face of music in Manchester or in Britain, but of the whole world, and the legacy it's left. The gig itself happened at the Leicester Free Trade Hall, which no longer exists. It's now the Radisson Hotel, which you'll see earlier. I'll be standing outside there. Obviously, the Sex Pistols at the time were very controversial. They were not like every other day band. They were rebellious. Their songs had a political meaning with it, against the industry, against the government, against the royal family. The hit God Save the Queen at the time of one of the Jubilees really upset the press. It really upset the industry, but the punk scene really took off. Obviously, it came to Manchester virtually as an unknown and left basically as people, as household names. You can see here are some of the photos from the gigs. There isn't many left. So this photographer, Paul Welsh, was credited in the book I Swear I Was There as being one of the few people there who photographed and videoed the gig. Obviously, what makes this concert more iconic is the people that were there. Now, there's many people that said they were there, tens of thousands. Literally, there wasn't. But people there included the Buzz Cox, Joy Division's Peter Hook and Bernard Sumner. Morrissey was there. And then weeks later, the second gig, Mark E. Smith, who formed The Fall, Ian Curtis, who went to form Joy Division, they were there. Tony Wilson, owner of Factory Records. If they'd not been at this concert, these bands may have never, ever been formed. And the gig itself, originally, Solace supported them. It was supposed to be in Bolton, but they couldn't get a licence. Slaughter the Dogs also supported them. Second time, when they played 6 weeks later, the Buzz Cox were there also. Here's the set list, and I'll tell you, this was still one of their very, very early gigs, so not necessarily the big ones, obviously pretty vacants there, but not all of the ones that we may have known like were on that list. But as you can see, at this time there was no internet, so magazines, printed word other than TV were a way of getting your music and your articles and feedback across. There's a list there of all the gigs that were leading up to the final one, which was in Manchester. As you see, some more of the photos here. Joe Lydon, Glenn Matlock, you're on it. It's been sold as one of the 100 gigs you should have been at if there ever was a gig. Obviously, some of the names, as I said, were there. Morrissey, Howard DeFito, Pete Shelley, Steve Diggle of the Buzz Cox, Malcolm McLaren, the manager of the Sex Pistols, Tony Wilson, Peter Hook, Bernard Sumner, Ian Curtis, Mark E. Smith, Paul Welsh and Mick Hucknall, although that has been controversial. Some say was there, some say wasn't there. There's a ticket from the gig. What's funny is there was a guy at my work called John the Postman. He's died now, but when he was there, I knew he was in the film 24-Hour Party People based on this gig, but I never knew just what sort of impact he had. His brother still works there and told me he still has the ticket from the gig. What a treasured item that would be. You can see here the Sex Pistols sticker. Another smaller version of the photo up there. The headline of one gig that everyone was at, allegedly. Here's a set list for the gig. Once again, another photo of Lydon, of the band playing, Cook, Matlock. Here's a good one of them all. Again, obviously, when these gigs happened, there'd often be trouble at the end of it. Things get thrown on, fights would break out. Damned were another punk band around at the time. Everyone mentions how it got in the Times, the gig, obviously. You weren't expecting it to be in there. And Waitrose Weekend, there's a photo of it. Because again, people are still talking about this gig today. Confirms here just what money was made from the gig. So £14 tickets for 50p, that's unheard of when you think you're paying 50 quid a ticket, 70 quid a ticket now. Obviously Q have done another piece on it. I think this is when the Sex Pistols were ready to make their return. See here. On this part again, I observed some final more photos, some more of the Sex Pistols badges. Again, like I said, fanzines, support punk bands, literally a lot of them have been influenced by this band. I'm just going to go through all the photos once again so you can have a look at them. Apologies for my reflection. As you can see here, book I told you about, I swear I was there. It's an absolute brilliant read and it's worth reading. But the legacy, wouldn't have had all these books here if it weren't for that gig. Johnny Marr set the boy free, the Stone Roses, Bernard Summer, who was at the gig. Obviously got all these books. Morrissey was there, who with Johnny Marr formed Smiths, who influenced Noel Gallagher to form Oasis. The modern day band singing scene who were influenced by Oasis. As you can see, the legacy from that gig is absolutely reflected today and will continue to be reflected. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and look out for the next forthcoming video, which is what is now a hotel which was once the Lesser Free Trade Hall. Keep subscribing, keep sharing. I am Tommy Oldham.